welcome everyone for the 76th installment of the number one webcast on community association on LinkedIn for sure, maybe on the internet. Maybe it's the number one webcast on community association in the entire world. Steve, what do you introduce our guest today?
I think it very well could be, and especially when we have guests like we have today. She is McKenna. Welcome, and why don't you tell us a little bit about what makes you parking boss lady?
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm super glad to be here. I'm honored, actually. I love your guys' show. Parking Boss. That's the company I work for. We are a parking software solution for condo and HOA communities. Our whole goal is to just eliminate parking problems from the root cause and then prevent them future on. So,
all right.
That's fantastic, because there's one thing that's a big pet peeve of mine is parking issues. Like, I hate having a parking issue. Show up to the food store, somebody cuts in front of you. I hate that stuff. But I'm sure in community association, it's a little bit different type of challenges. Can you tell us what kind of challenges an association runs into?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge question. There are so many problems. Every community is so different based on what region are they located in, there's a lot of different factors. But I would say the biggest problem is frustration, right? Like, how many times have you gone to a community and you don't know where to park, and it just leads to frustration? And it's kind of an emotional thing, really. You're leaving your vehicle somewhere. You want to make sure it's safe and secure. And the frustration comes from a lot of different things. A lot of the times managers will see problems like residents have too many vehicles. So maybe there's two people that live at a home, but they have like 6 cars, right? Or some of them are just junk cars. They just sit on the side of the street for like 3 years and they don't go anywhere. And that kind of creates a butterfly effect to where they park on their street, or they park in their driveway, or they're parking in their neighbor's driveway. I've seen that a lot. And so then when that resident comes home, where do they park, right? Their spot is taken. So they go park in the guest spot that is just designated for guests. And then grandma comes to visit her grandson for dinner, and then there's no guest parking spots. And so she has to park in somebody else's resident spot. And so it's like a butterfly effect. It just keeps going. And so those are, a lot of the biggest problems we see. But there's a plethora of problems.
Sure.
But all of those things lead to the community rules and regulations not being upheld, which is ultimately the goal.
Sure. So, like you said, it does become emotional. These are people's homes, and now with COVID, everybody was home more often. So I'm sure parking became even a bigger issue. Now, how does a community association? How would they typically try to handle that?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of different things that communities try and solve this problem. One, I would say, which is like the scariest, is towing. They just create a zero tolerance policy. And so they just start out towing. It could be your first violation. It could be your 10th violation. But it doesn't matter. They're just going to tow you, right? Or they'll ticket you. And that is like the worst problem. Think about coming out and seeing your car just gone, like that gut feeling. It's terrible. Rules, like if rules were going to be followed in the first place, you probably wouldn't have needed them. So if you don't have enforcement,
that doesn't really solve anything, does it?
No. Yeah. So we see that a lot. But the best option actually for fixing these parking problems at the root problem is parking management software.
So let me ask you that, because I'm not well versed in parking management software. How does that even help a community handle the situation?
Yeah,
I mean, if you're towing Steve's car, I don't have a problem with it.
Well, I don't want to come out and see my car towed. So
no, neither do I. But Steve's is okay.
Yeah. So I mean, management software, typically in general, if it's not just parking, it should be able to automate administrative tasks, right? But when it does come to parking specifically, there should no longer be, the babysitter comes over to park, and they shouldn't have to go into the management office and get like a physical hang tag to hang on their car. Like, what a waste of time for them and the managers, and then you have to hire another manager to sit at the front of the office. Like, it's not benefiting the community. So in this situation with software, the babysitter goes up and scans the QR code that's on the sign that we provide. And then all they do is like fill out their license plate, fill out what home they're going to see, and boom, it's done. They now have like a 24/7 self-service guest registration option, and they don't have to go to the management anymore. So it automates tasks that can be done without a physical person there. And that saves everybody time. But then on the back end, it sort of avoids human error. So when you're talking about then enforcing those parking, those guest parking tickets, whoever the enforcer is, whether it's your board has like a parking committee, or you have an actual security team, or maybe your board member is just going around walking his dog at night and he wants to check up on it, wants to check on their lots. We have a license plate recognition software. So you just go on the portal, they just scan the license plate, and they can see right there, are they a violator, or do they have the right to be there? Did they do the right thing and sign up for a guest pass?
So what would be really fun is I'll text you Steve's license plate number, and you can enter in your master database that he's like banned from every community.
That's great. We'll do that. It doesn't work exactly like that.
My car towed. David is determined to get my car towed for one reason or another. I'm not sure.
Well, the funny thing, I was just thinking about this. Like, Steve drives like a monster truck. Like, he's got the most beautiful Ford truck that you'll ever see, and he can probably tow the tow truck.
There you go.
They might have some trouble towing me around.
Yeah, the guy comes to and be like, yeah, no, forget, this guy can't stay. What's with a Mini Cooper over there?
Oh my gosh. Well, and honestly, like, that kind of ties in with what it prevents a lot of liability, Right. So like, when you get your car towed, you don't know if they're going to scratch it. You don't know if they like dented it on the way to the tow yard or anything. What if you get something stolen out of it? That's happened to my friend. They had all their stuff stolen from the tow guy. So, I mean, that's why you want to limit the amount of tows, but also when you do have this, because of the technology, because of the software, you're able to have sort of like a paper trail for evidence, so that when that person does come in and say like, what the heck, why did I get towed? I didn't do that. That wasn't me. It wasn't my car. You have photo evidence, it relieves a lot of liability.
I've actually seen insurance claims from associations regarding towing. People get very upset when the car gets towed, and they may or may not file a claim. I saw an incident where they reported the unit owner actually reported the automobile stolen, and it wasn't an inexpensive vehicle, and the insurance company paid out on it an auto claim upwards of $100,000. And so then they went to subrogate against the association. It was just a giant mess. But so your software sounds pretty fancy. Now, what should a management company or what should a community manager be looking for when they're shopping the parking management software? What are some of like the key functionalities that they should be researching?
Yeah, well, a lot of it lies within the company and the team members itself. Okay. So I think one of the biggest things you should be looking for is everything done in-house with this company? And you can even ask them, just say, do you do things in-house or is it outsourced? A lot of times when it's outsourced to a company that's not even within the country. And so if they have, if they want to make fixes, it's really difficult. Gotcha. But also, for Parking Boss, because we do everything in-house, we get a lot of feedback from our customers saying, hey, it would be really cool if you could add this, right? And because we do it in-house, so our CEO goes and he adds this and they love it, right? And that's a little problem is fixed for them if it's feasible, obviously. But you don't have that opportunity when there's another company that's in charge of all of your user interface. So my recommendation would just be ask, straight up ask in the demo, do you do everything in-house or do you outsource it? That's a really important thing. And I would also say, oh, go on.
No, go ahead if you have another point.
There's a ton of things I'd say to look for. I could go on and on, but
well, because of time, we're not gonna go too long.
Right. I would also say, like, is it fair? Is it working for everybody? Is it just highlighting somebody's, to help them out? Is it cost effective? Are you paying for something you don't need? Obviously, for our company, you only pay for how many homes are in the community. So you don't pay for 1,000 homes if you only have 100, right? You should be looking out for those things. And then I think the most important, my last point would be, do you have expert employees on the team? So for us, it's a software company, so you would think like there's a lot of tech people working at the company, but we have our head of an enforcement department, Marcus, he owned his own enforcement company, right? So he knows about HOA and condo enforcement. Okay. When somebody needs help, he's able to give them like expert advice. Or we have managers who were managers for like 20 years on our sales team. So it's important that they know what your industry you're in and how to answer those tough questions, and they're not just a salesperson, they're not just a tech person. So
got it.
Yeah.
Now, quick question. So try to make it, let's say, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. What are the 3 top challenges for an association in implementing a management software like yours?
Sure. I would say it's the rollout, obviously, just getting it out into the community, which is why it's really important that you have a good customer service department so they can help you with that. You as a manager taking time to get acquainted with the software and be trained, taking that 30-minute demo with the customer service rep and getting trained so that you know what to do. And then I would just say communicating to the community. You have to have documents that communicate clearly, and we provide that. Our customer service department provides documents that you as a manager, you can just send it out, and then everyone is on board and they're all on the same page.
Okay, fabulous. There's a couple of key terms that really resonate with what we do, and most community associations and the vendors and all the things that revolve around community associations. You mentioned feedback and communication. So what are you guys hearing back from communities that have already implemented this? Are they love it? They've had great successes. Like what are you hearing from the industry?
Yeah, that's a good question. What I hear a lot is that the automation process of it all saved precious time, right? Like managers are really busy people, and just having that day to day. Obviously, there's initial rollout, or when a new resident comes in, you have to enter them in the system. Sure. But after that, everything is automated. I would also say the ability to identify violators and violations within their community, that saves a ton of time, because as soon as you can identify who is causing the problems, you can fix the problem. One of our communities in Miami, actually, I think we have 2 right now down there that are doing this, because Miami Beach, obviously everyone's like coming to park, using up all their space. And so they're averaging like $3,500 to $4,000 a month of income, which is crazy, right? Like imagine what a community could do with that. Yeah. And I think
that's good to know, because you sometimes think that a great service comes as a disadvantage on the financial side for the association, but it's not always the case. It's not always the case. Good one, Steve. Yeah. Now, do you have any fun questions for our guest today, Steve?
Oh, I might have something around here somewhere. McKenna, have you seen the show before? Have you seen us do a little rapid fire?
A little bit, yeah.
Right.
A few times.
Are you ready for your own?
I guess so, yeah.
All right. It's really easy stuff. 1, 2 word answers. Not much thought involved. Just whatever pops into your head. So, hey, how many business cards do you have in your pocket right now?
0.
What is the most aggravating show on television? I have my own personal aggravation, but what for you?
Game of Thrones.
Really? No kidding.
Yes, it was a horrible ending, very aggravating.
Okay.
How about you, Steve? How about you, Steve?
If I see any of the housewives of any county or region or part of the country or part of the world, I think they're in Dubai or something now, the housewives of Dubai, I can't stand it. I'm sorry, I will throw something at the television. Moving on. So what social media do you spend the most time on?
Instagram and LinkedIn.
All right. What's the longest you've ever gone without eating? I was going to say sleeping, but that's just me. I don't sleep. So what's the longest you've ever gone without eating?
A few weeks ago, I was in my friend's wedding and I didn't fit into the dress. And so I went like 4 days, probably almost 4 days without eating, like just drinking a few smoothies or something. So,
oh my goodness, yeah, lightheaded.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, who's the best dancer in your family?
Oh, I'd have to say my fiance.
Really?
Yeah, he's a pretty good dancer.
No kidding. All right. So have you ever signed up for a credit card like at the checkout counter, like as you're online and they offer you like 20% off today if you sign up for this credit card? Have you ever actually filled one of those out?
Yes, Nordstrom.
Okay.
It was my first credit card. I think it was 18. They got me right away.
Fair enough. Yeah. I'm not going to go there. What's the best way to prepare shrimp?
Oh, I don't like shrimp.
No?
No, so I do not prepare it. I love scallops.
Okay.
Regular seared in butter. Yep. Main scallops.
All righty. All right. So what do you call a group of fish?
I don't know.
It's a school of fish.
Oh, a school.
Ah.
I did not think about that.
All right, another animal question. Which is skeevier, bats or spiders?
Oh, spiders.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of like
Definitely.
that. Mosquitoes. We got a mosquito problem in New Jersey.
Oh.
All right, if you could learn a language, like without it just popped in your head and you could just speak fluently, what language would that be?
Polish.
What? Really?
Yeah, I have a lot of Polish family, and I wish I could communicate
You
with
want to
them.
know what they're saying about you behind your back?
Yeah, duh.
All right. Well, thanks for being a good sport. Now's the time on the show we like to give the mic over to our guests. So you can plug whatever it is. It could be a charity, could be your business, could be the fact that you're the parking boss lady. But the mic is yours. It's your soapbox. Go ahead. Plug away.
I guess I would have to plug Parking Boss. Check out their website, Luminous, HOA.com. It's LUMINOUS, HOA.com. I do a lot of lunch and learn. So if you're a manager watching this, and you're like curious about how to fix your freaking parking problems, email me, go on to a demo, request a demo at that website. I will provide lunch for your whole team, and give you a 10-minute, I promise it will be 10 minutes of a demo to you and your managers, and just show you how you can fix your life, fix your parking, fix your life,
Outstanding.
That's about it.
Terrific. Well, we appreciate your time, and we'll see everybody next Monday for the next episode of Community Association Car Chat. See you guys around.